Well, let's learn more about owls. Joining us today, Wildlife Educator Coordinator with the Ohio Division of Wildlife, we've got Abby Ditomassi, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
Okay, so I did not realize this is a good time of year to try to look for owls.
So owls are really prevalent in the winter, and they're just really easy to see because there's no leaves on the trees where they like to roost. And then also, they're really talkative. It's easier to hear owls than it is to see them. So they're really territorial and they're looking for mates. So you may be able to hear their calls. Now, we have 8 regularly occurring owls in Ohio, but we're going to talk about 3 of the most common today. And we're going to start with our great horned owl here. So this great horned owl, what you may notice right away are these tufts of feathers on their head. And they look like ears to people, but they're not ears. They're just decorative feathers. They actually have ear openings on the sides of their head, and their ears are usually offset in owls. That helps them to really triangulate on prey. And they actually have the ability to detect prey between the left and the right in a matter of milliseconds. So they're really good at finding their prey. You may also notice these really big yellow eyes. So they have huge eyes, able to help detect prey at night where they're mostly nocturnal. And then also they can actually move their eyes within their eye sockets. So they have twice as many vertebrae in their neck to help them move their head 270 degrees to be able to detect those prey.
That's fascinating stuff. What do they like to eat when you talk about their prey?
Yeah, so this is the largest resident owl that we have in Ohio, so they can take down large prey as well. Most owls are taking down small mammals like moles and voles, but these guys can take down muskrats, groundhogs, and they're the main predator to skunks. And for whatever reason, they don't mind that spray. So that's one of the main predators of skunks.
All right, so we can find them then in the Lima area, or where do you find this owl mostly?
All over Ohio and all different kinds of habitat. I was actually just out with my husband and son on a trail, and we heard a great horned owl. So again, it may be hard to see them, but you want to listen for their sounds. So I'm going to try and play a great horned owl for you. So they have that regular hoot call that you kind of know owls to hear. So I heard that last night. It just kept calling to us on the trail. I think a lot of people think in the middle of the night, but it was 5 o'clock when we were walking along the trail that we heard this great horned owl.
Okay, so what's the next one? A barred owl?
Yes, this is a barred owl. Most people think barn. We do have barn owls. They're threatened in Ohio, but this is barred, B-A-R-E-R-E-E-D. So they have this barring on their feathers. And while we can hear owls at night, their prey cannot hear them. They actually can swoop in on prey silently because their feathers are frayed. It helps to make that silent flight. So if you watched Harry Potter over the winter break and you heard owls swooping in on the screen, it's all Hollywood effect. They are quiet when they go to ambush those prey. They also have these really sharp talons that they use to grasp their prey. Then they take them up to the roost, and they use this beak that they will rip apart their prey, and they have to ingest the whole prey. So sometimes you may find what's called an owl pellet, because they are regurgitating this hair and bones from their prey. So if you see those in your yard, you may want to look up and see if you have a resident owl living there.
Wow, that's exciting. All right, so do they have a call too? I mean, how do you know if you're going to hear them?
And so these guys are like more swampy woods and maybe river corridors, like trees along rivers. So they have that very stereotypical who cooks for you, I'll call that everyone knows. Sounds really robotic and very interesting.
All right, that's fun. All right, one more. We got screech owls we can see.
Yes, so screech owls are the smallest but most common owls that you can find in Ohio. So you see this scarlet coloration. There is a more common gray morph that you can see in Ohio. And since they're smaller, they can take down smaller prey like worms and moths. And then also, you may think it's a screech owl, so it has a screechy call, but really they have more of a whiny, ghostly call.
I don't hear that one, sorry, but okay. All right.
I can't hear that.
No, couldn't hear that one. All right, so one.
Oh, darn it. So, and you know what? I'm not, it's really hard to hear them out in the wild too. So it's just really quiet and like a ghostly call.
All right.
So yeah, if you want to learn more about owls in Ohio, though, you can go to our website at wildohio.gov. We have a really awesome field guide that you can find, winter birding tips, and you can even look for places to go birding in Ohio.
Exciting stuff. I love this stuff about owls. Abby, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
All right, don't go away. New Edition continues in a moment.
If pain and inflammation